Ethan stood quietly in the crowded hall of the spaceport, feeling out of place among the shining suits and bright faces. He was a human from a small planet on the edge of known space. His life was simple, and he never thought it would change. So quickly. Today, however, everything was about to change. A group of alien nobles surrounded him, their faces full of amusement. They spoke in soft voices, sharing jokes he did not understand. Ethan was the new ambassador for Earth, and these aliens wanted to test him. They planned a joke, one that they thought would embarrass him in front of the entire Galactic Council. "Ethan," said one alien with blue skin and sharp eyes, "we have a gift for you." The crowd quieted as the aliens pulled back a curtain. Behind it stood a young alien girl. She was unlike anyone Ethan had seen before. Her skin was pale with a soft silver glow, and her eyes were bright green, full of calm and strength. She wore simple clothes, but her posture was proud. She looked at Ethan, not with fear or shyness, but with quiet confidence. "Meet Lyra," said the blue-skinned alien with a smirk. "She will be your companion for the next week. We hope you can manage." The crowd laughed softly. Ethan felt a knot in his stomach. He did not know what to say or do. A girl like Lyra was not part of his plans. He did not understand why they gave her to him as a joke. Lyra stepped forward. "Hello, Ethan," she said in perfect common tongue. Her voice was soft but strong. "I am here to help, not to cause trouble." Ethan looked at her and nodded slowly. "I thank you." Inside, he was nervous but also curious. The nobles whispered among themselves, clearly enjoying the moment. But Lyra showed no fear. She seemed to know more than she let on. Over the next few days, Ethan and Lyra spent time together. At first, it was awkward. Ethan was unsure how to act. Lyra listened carefully when he spoke and watched his reactions. Closely, she was patient, and her calm presence helped Ethan relax. They walked through busy markets, visited council meetings, and shared meals in quiet halls. Lyra asked many questions about humans and their ways. Ethan told her about Earth, about its oceans, mountains, and people who worked hard to live peaceful lives. One evening, as they watched stars from a small balcony, Ethan finally asked, "Why did the nobles give you to me as a joke?" Lyra smiled faintly. "Perhaps they think you will fail." Her eyes looked far away. "But sometimes jokes hide deeper truths." Ethan was puzzled. He wanted to understand more but did not want to push too hard. Then strange things began to happen. One night, Ethan woke to find shadows moving near their quarters. He reached for his communicator, but Lyra was already alert. "Stay calm," she whispered. "They are here for me." The next moments were tense. Two dark figures tried to enter their room. Lyra moved quickly, using a small device to send a bright light that stunned the intruders. Ethan was amazed by her skills. "Who are they?" he asked. "Enemies," Lyra said. "They want to capture me." Ethan felt fear but also determination. "We need to leave." Together, they escaped through hidden tunnels beneath the spaceport. Lyra led the way confidently, knowing every step. Ethan followed, heart pounding. Outside, the city lights sparkled, but danger was near, Lyra explained. "My true identity must stay secret. If they find me, it will bring war." Ethan was shocked. "What do you mean? Who are you?" Lyra hesitated, but then said, "I am Lyra, heir to the Galactic Empire. My family was betrayed. I was hidden to protect me." Ethan could hardly believe it. The girl given to him as a joke was a princess, a key to the galaxy's future. He looked at Lyra with new respect. "I will protect you." She smiled softly. "Thank you, Ethan." The days that followed were full of preparation. Ethan learned about Lyra's world, the Empire, its history, and its enemies. Lyra showed strength beyond her years. But she also carried sadness for the family she lost. The nobles who had joked with Ethan now faced a surprise. Instead of embarrassment, Ethan stood strong, ready to face what came next. And Lyra, once a secret and forgotten heir, began her journey back to claim her place. Their story had only just... After escaping the shadowy intruders, Ethan and Lyra found refuge in a quiet part of the spaceport city. The air was filled with strange smells and distant sounds of ships landing and taking off. Ethan still could not believe the truth Lyra had told him. She was not just any alien girl. She was the lost heir to a great galactic empire. And now her enemies were hunting her. "We must be careful," Lyra said softly as they sat in a small, dim room. "If they catch me, it will bring chaos. The empire will fall deeper into darkness." Ethan nodded. "What do we do now?" Lyra looked at him with a serious gaze. "First, we need allies. I cannot do this alone." The next day, they moved through the city's crowded streets, looking for those who would help them. Ethan was amazed by the different alien species around them, tall beings with long necks, creatures with shining scales, and others with glowing eyes. All spoke different languages, but Lyra knew how to communicate with many. Their first stop was a hidden tavern known only to those who opposed the current rulers of the empire. Inside, the air was thick with smoke and quiet whispers. Ethan felt nervous, but stood close to Lyra, who seemed confident. A large alien with dark fur and kind eyes approached.
"Lyra,"
he said in a low voice. "We have waited for your return." Was surprised. "Who is he?" "His name is Karn," Lyra said. "He leads the rebels against the corrupt empire. He can help us." Karn nodded. "Your family was betrayed by those who want power. We fight for justice. Join us, and we will help you." Lyra smiled, relieved. "Thank you, Karn. We need all the help we can get." Over the next days, Ethan learned more about the Empire's troubles. The rulers had grown cruel and greedy, hurting many planets to keep their power. The rebels wanted to bring peace, but they needed Lyra's claim to unite the people. Ethan was amazed by Lyra's courage. She did not just want power for herself, she wanted a better future for everyone. One night, while planning with the rebels, Ethan noticed Lyra's eyes filled with sadness. "What troubles you?" he asked. She looked away. "My family was taken from me. My mother, the queen, was betrayed and lost. I was hidden to survive. Sometimes I feel alone." Ethan gently placed his hand on hers. "You are not alone now. I will stand by you." Lyra smiled warmly. "Thank you, Ethan. Your friendship means more than you know." But their safety was short-lived. The corrupt rulers had sent their own hunters to find Lyra. One evening, alarms rang through the rebel base. "They are attacking," shouted a guard. Ethan and Lyra grabbed their weapons and joined the defenders. The battle was fierce. Ships fired bright lasers in the dark sky. Soldiers clashed in the streets below. Ethan fought bravely, surprising himself with his skills. Lyra moved with grace and power, commanding the rebels with sharp orders. Amid the chaos, Ethan spotted a figure snaking toward Lyra's room. He rushed forward and stopped the attacker, a cold-faced assassin. "Who sent you?" Ethan demanded. The assassin smiled cruelly. "The rulers want the heir dead. They will stop at nothing." Ethan's heart pounded. He knew the danger was greater than ever. After the battle, Lyra gathered her friends. "We must leave the city," she said. "The rulers know I am here." Ethan nodded. "Where will we go?" "To the imperial capital," Lyra answered. "It is time to claim what is mine." The journey to the capital was long and dangerous. Ethan and Lyra traveled through space on a small, fast ship provided by the rebels. Along the way, they avoided enemy patrols and faced many challenges. During quiet moments, Ethan and Lyra talked about their dreams. Lyra hoped to bring peace and fairness to the Empire. Ethan wished to help her and learn more about the stars. One evening, as they looked at distant planets, Ethan asked, "Do you think the Empire will accept you?" Lyra smiled softly. "Some will fight, but many will hope for change." The bond between Ethan and Lyra grew stronger with every passing day. They were no longer just a human and an alien girl. They were partners in a fight for justice. As the imperial capital grew closer on their screens, they prepared for the greatest challenge. Ahead, enemies, politics, and danger awaited them. But together, they felt ready. Their journey had only just... The small ship hummed softly as it moved through the endless blackness of space. Ethan sat near the controls, watching the stars pass by. Lyra sat beside him, quiet but focused. The imperial capital was near now, the place where Lyra's true destiny waited. "It feels strange," Ethan said after a moment. "We're going to face so many people who do not want you there." Lyra nodded. "Yes, but it is time. The Empire has waited too long for justice." The ship entered the system of the imperial capital. Huge space stations and battleships floated like giants around the planet below. Ethan felt a mix of awe and fear. "This place is powerful," he whispered. "Do you think they will listen? To us?" Lyra looked at the planet's glowing cities. "Some will try to stop us, but many hope for a new future." They landed on a hidden rebel base near the capital's edge. There, Lyra met with her closest friends and advisors. They planned carefully how to enter the capital and show the galaxy the truth about her claim. One of the advisors, sharp-eyed alien named Vila, spoke up. "Corrupt rulers control most of the capital. We must be careful. The people are afraid, but they want change." Lyra took a deep breath. "And we give them hope." Ethan watched her with respect. She was strong but kind, ready to face danger for the good of many over the next days. Lyra and Ethan moved quietly through the capital's undercity places where the poor and forgotten lived. They listened to stories of pain and hope. Ethan was surprised by how many people wanted change but feared the ruler's power. One day, while walking through a crowded market, Lyra was recognized by a small child. The child's eyes widened and he whispered, "The princess." Word spread quickly. Soon people began to gather, curious and hopeful. Some offered food, others helped hide Lyra and Ethan from the ruler's guards. Ethan felt proud to see humans and aliens together, united by a hope for justice. But danger was close. The rulers sent their enforcers to find Lyra. One night, Ethan and Lyra barely escaped an attack by guards in the narrow alleys. "They are getting closer," Ethan said, breathless. Lyra nodded. "We must act soon. People need to see the truth." They decided to hold a public meeting in the city's largest square. It was risky, but the chance to reach many was worth it. The day of the meeting arrived. The square filled with thousands of people, humans and aliens alike. Guards watched from above, ready to stop any trouble. Lyra stood on a raised platform, her voice strong and clear as she spoke to the crowd. "My friends," she began, "I am Lyra, rightful heir to this empire. My family was betrayed, and I was hidden to protect me. Today, I ask you to join me in bringing justice and peace." The crowd was silent at first, then whispers grew into cheers. Many had longed for hope and change. Ethan watched, feeling a deep pride. He knew this was only the start. But the rulers were not done. As the meeting ended, a group of soldiers tried to arrest Lyra. Ethan stood in front, ready to protect her. A fierce fight broke out. Rebels and citizens joined the battle against the guards. Lyra's leadership and Ethan's bravery inspired everyone in the chaos. Lyra used a special device to send a message across the empire. Call for all who wanted justice to rise. The message reached distant planets. Allies prepared to join the fight. After the battle, Lyra and Ethan retreated to the rebel base. Both were tired but hopeful. "The Empire is waking," Lyra said. "Soon we will have the strength to change everything." Ethan smiled. "I will stand by you no matter what." Lyra looked at him with warmth. "Together, we are stronger." Their journey toward reclaiming the Empire was far from over, but now hope had sparked in the hearts of many. And Ethan and Lyra knew that whatever came next, they would face it side by side. The rebel base buzzed with activity. News of Lyra's public speech and the call for justice spread quickly through the Empire. Support was growing and more planets sent help. Ethan and Lyra worked closely with their allies, planning the next steps carefully. Lyra studied maps of the imperial capital, pointing to key locations. "We need to take control of the communication center," she said. "If we control it, we can share the truth with everyone." Ethan nodded and stopped the rulers from spreading lies. They prepared a small team for the mission. Among them was Karn, the strong rebel leader Ethan had met earlier, and Vela, sharp-eyed advisor who knew the city well. The night before the mission, Ethan and Lyra sat quietly in a room filled with soft lights. Ethan looked at Lyra and said, "You have changed so much since we met. You are no longer just the girl from the joke." Lyra smiled softly, "And you have become more than I expected, Ethan. Your courage gives me strength." The next day, the team moved through dark tunnels and hidden paths beneath the city. Tension was high, but their determination was stronger. They reached the communication center, a large building guarded by soldiers. Karn whispered a plan. "We will distract the guards while Ethan and Lyra enter." The plan worked. Karn and Vela created noise and confusion outside. Ethan and Lyra slipped inside through a side door. Inside, the room was filled with screens and buttons. Lyra quickly found the controls. Her fingers moved with skill as she activated the main broadcast. A calm but powerful voice spoke through the Empire's channels. "This is Lyra, rightful heir to the Empire. The rulers you follow have lied and betrayed you. It is time to choose justice and peace." The message reached millions of homes across the Empire. Ethan watched the faces of his friends light up with hope, but danger was near. Soldiers stormed into the building, trying to stop the broadcast. Lyra stayed calm. "Keep it on," she said. "The people need to hear the truth." Ethan helped fight off the guards while Lyra finished the message. "Together, we will restore the Empire. Join us." Just as the broadcast ended, a powerful explosion shook the building. The rebels escaped through hidden exits, racing through the city's streets. Outside, the crowd had grown. People gathered, inspired by Lyra's message. Protests and calls for change spread like wildfire. Ethan felt amazed. "This is bigger than any of us thought." Lyra nodded. "The Empire is ready for change, but the rulers will fight back." The rulers sent their own fleet to crush the rebellion. Massive ships darkened the skies, firing weapons at rebel strongholds. Ethan and Lyra joined the fight. Aboard a rebel ship, Ethan piloted through the chaos, dodging lasers and missiles. Lyra directed the battle, her voice calm and sure. During a fierce space battle, Ethan's ship was hit. Alarms blared and the controls shook. "Hold on," Ethan shouted as he fought to keep the ship steady. Lyra reached out, steadying him. "We can do this together." With teamwork and courage, they escaped the attack and returned to base. After the battle, Lyra and Ethan talked late into the night. "This fight is hard," Ethan said, "but your hope inspires me." Lyra smiled. "And your friendship gives me strength." They knew the road ahead was dangerous. The rulers would not give up easily, but with allies, courage, and truth, Lyra's claim grew stronger every day, and Ethan knew he would stand by her through every challenge. Their journey was far from over, but together they would face the war between Lyra's forces and the corrupt rulers grew stronger every day. Battles took place in space and on many planets. The Empire was changing, but the cost was high. Ethan and Lyra worked tirelessly to keep hope alive. They visited refugee camps, met with leaders, and helped organize new plans. Ethan's simple human kindness touched many, while Lyra's strength inspired hope. One day, Lyra received a secret message. The old queen, her mother, was alive, but held prisoner in the ruler's fortress deep inside the capital. This news brought hope and pain. Lyra knew she had to save her mother, but it would be dangerous. "We must plan carefully," Lyra said. "The fortress is heavily guarded." Ethan looked at her, determination in his eyes. "We will find a way," they gathered. A small, trusted team for the rescue mission. Among them were Karn, Vela, and a few skilled rebels. Under the cover of darkness, they moved silently through the city's shadows. The fortress was a giant building with strong walls and many guards. Ethan's heart raced as they approached. He was not a soldier, but he had learned to be brave. Inside, they found the queen's cell. She looked tired, but strong. When she saw Lyra, tears filled her eyes. "My daughter," she whispered, "you have returned." Lyra smiled softly. "I will not leave you behind." They freed the queen and began their escape. But alarms rang out. Guards had discovered them. A fierce fight followed. The rebels fought with skill and courage. Ethan held the line, protecting Lyra and the queen. As they reached the exit, a commander blocked their way. He was tall and fierce, loyal to the corrupt rulers. "You will not leave alive," he growled. Lyra stepped forward, her voice calm. "This empire belongs to its people, not to tyrants like you." The battle was tense, but with teamwork, they defeated the commander and escaped into the night. Back at the rebel base, the queen thanked everyone. She shared stories of the past, revealing secrets that helped Lyra understand her family's true power. Ethan listened closely, realizing how much this fight was about more than just a throne. It was about justice and hope for many. The queen's presence strengthened their cause. More people joined the rebellion, inspired by the return of the rightful ruler. But the rulers were desperate. They launched a final attack on the rebel base, hoping to end the fight once and for all. The battle was fierce and loud. Ships exploded in space and ground forces clashed with swords and lasers. Ethan and Lyra fought side by side. The heat of battle, Ethan saved Lyra from a deadly blast, risking his own life. Lyra caught her breath and looked at him. "Thank you, Ethan." He smiled. "We protect each other." With the queen's help and the courage of many, the rebels pushed back the attackers. When the dust settled, the rulers were defeated. The empire began to heal. Lyra stood before the gathered crowd, now queen of the empire. Her voice was strong and kind. "This victory is for all who believed in justice," she said. "We will build a new future together." Ethan stood beside her, proud of their journey. The joke that started it all had turned into a story of courage and friendship as peace returned. Ethan and Lyra looked to the stars, ready for whatever came next. Their bond was unbreakable. And the galaxy would never forget the day the galactic heir and the human stood together to change the future. The empire was quiet now, but change was happening everywhere. Lyra, as the new queen, worked hard to heal the wounds left by years of betrayal and war. Ethan stayed by her side, helping wherever he could. Their journey together had brought hope. One morning, Lyra and Ethan stood on the palace balcony, looking out at the city below. Ships moved through the sky, and people walked with a new sense of freedom. "It feels like a dream," Ethan said softly. "We made it." Lyra smiled. "Yes, but it is only the beginning. There is much work ahead." The people trusted Lyra's kindness and strength. She met with leaders from many planets, working to build peace and fair laws. Ethan helped by sharing ideas from Earth, showing how simple kindness and honesty could change lives. Many of the nobles who once mocked Ethan and Lyra now respected them. They saw how true leadership was not about power, but about serving others. One day, a young girl approached Lyra with a gift, a small flower from a distant planet. Lyra accepted it with a gentle smile. "This is for you," the girl said shyly. "Thank you for bringing hope." Lyra knelt to her level. "Thank you. Remember, every one of us can make a difference." Ethan watched the moment and felt proud. He remembered when Lyra was a joke, and now she was a queen, loved by many. But life was not just work and duty. Ethan and Lyra found moments to laugh and share stories. They explored the palace gardens and watched stars in the quiet nights. Their friendship deepened into something special, built on trust and respect. Neither rushed. They let their feelings grow naturally. One evening, as they walked beneath glowing trees, Lyra looked at Ethan. "I never expected this journey." "It changed everything." Ethan smiled. "Me too. Sometimes, the hardest paths lead to the brightest futures." They paused, feeling the peace around them. The galaxy was beginning a new chapter, one where humans and aliens could stand together as friends and equals. Lyra spoke to her council, reminding them, "Our strength is unity. We must never forget the lessons of the past." Ethan prepared a message to send to Earth, sharing their story. It was a tale of courage, friendship, and hope. As the sun rose over the empire, Lara and Ethan knew their journey was far from over. But together, they would face whatever came next. The joke that began with an alien girl given as a joke had become a powerful story of change. The galactic air and the human had shown the galaxy the true meaning of hope, and their story would inspire generations